Hey everybody, and welcome back. Here at the office, got the old V30 down here. Gonna be working on this thing soon, so stay tuned. We are hoping to start working on this thing really soon. We got some big news coming, really exciting stuff with this and some other things we got going on. But I'm gonna head home from the office and go home and try to work on the camper a little bit this evening. All right guys, I'm here and we're gonna go to work on the camper. So I've spent the last hour looking for parts. I don't know if you're like I am, but I get projects going on, I order parts, I get parts, I stick them somewhere, then when it comes time to use them and I need them, I can't find them. Like, I found all my fans. I've got a bunch of fans here. It's gonna be really cool to install these, but I'm not ready to install them yet. But I found those. But the other day I bought finished screws and finished nails for the bunk and for some of these panels. I can't find them. I've got stuff in that trailer, I've got stuff in the truck, I've got stuff in the house, I've got stuff in the shed, I've got stuff in the camper, like this molding and flooring. It's just hard to keep up with everything. And I'm really disorganized sometimes. But I did find my spackling knife. Did find this. And I did find some wood filler that hopefully is not dried out. So I'm going to work on this panel. I need to fill in some screw holes over here. I got a little bit of work to do on here. I need to paint some of this up front. I need to paint this up here. I also need to sand and paint the entire floor so that I can get that flooring put in here very soon is my goal. I want to get the bunk put in. I want to get the floor done. I want to get all these panels finished up. I want to get the trim on my corners. I've got to get some more quarter round. I've got a lot of trim to do, and that's what I'm trying to get done. Flooring, trim, get the bunk put back in, and then I'm also going to work here pretty soon on installing those fans. I've got a bunch of more fans and an air duct system I think I've got figured out. We'll see how it works. That'll probably be a whole video on how I'm going to do all the duct work in here. I think I've got a pretty good plan on it, and it's going to give me a lot of options on airflow, which is a big deal in this type camper setup. So I'm going to work on some wood filler and some sanding and maybe some painting. Let's get to it. Alright, now I got these kind of on there. I'm going to let that dry so that I can sand that down. Same up here. Let all that dry so I can sand it down and paint that. And in the meantime, we're going to start sanding the floor. I'm not trying to make the floor super smooth, just there's a few spots where there's little bumps and stuff that I want to kind of even out and just get it a light sanding on the whole thing to make the flooring go down a little bit flatter and discover any spots that we might need to do anything with. And Sarah's here, so I talked her into using a power tool. Maybe we'll see what could possibly go wrong. Probably nothing
on your shoulder,
but we're gonna see.
It's dead.
I don't believe you.
I think it was. It's in now anyway.
I don't see a mosquito.
That's because this is like literally smushed, and there's like 5 different little babies.
She's violent. So we're gonna get some sanding done and get bit by mosquitoes, and then we're gonna paint the floor. I'm not gonna the paint is not really for looks, it's just as a light sealant for water, basically. So the flooring we're putting in is waterproof, but I'm going to put just a quick coat of paint on it as well, just to help protect it. So let's do some sanding. Alright, we got it sanded down, and I got a little bit of wood filler put in a few big holes. I'm not trying to make it perfectly smooth, just take out a few of the spots, help the flooring go down a little bit smoother. This is pretty much dry, but I'm going to wait and sand that and that wall down tomorrow. I'll sand down all this stuff, vacuum it again, and then I'll start painting. I think I'm going to call it a night because it's getting late. So tomorrow or another day, I'll come back, keep working on this, hopefully get the floor prepped, get some more of my trim pieces, get some painting done, and we'll keep making progress. All right, it's another day. Back working on the camper a little bit. I got the filler sanded down that I put on the floor and stuff the other day and on this panel here. So we grab the paintbrush, get this painted, get some of this painted, and then I'm going to throw a quick coat on the floor, get the whole floor painted with just one quick coat. Not trying to make it pretty, just a little bit of a protection for the wood being the subfloor. So get all that painted, and then maybe tomorrow or the next day I can actually start putting floor in. I'm so excited to get the floor. This thing is going to look so finished once the floor is in. So super excited. Gotta get back to work. Okay. Alright, I've got the paint for those. Got a couple coats on that. Now I'm going to pull this door panel off of that door over there, and I'm going to throw a couple coats on this, and then I'm going to hit the floor and get one coat on the floor. Just going to do one kind of heavy coat on the floor, but I'll probably get a couple coats on this door panel and then stick it back on. So back to painting. you look at that sunset? Do love a good sunset. All right, back to painting. Alright, I think I am done painting for the night. I've got a coat on all the floor. Got that door panel over there put on and a couple coats on. I'm definitely not finished painting entirely. I'm going to put a final coat on all the walls and all the trim, and I still got more painting to do, but this is kind of the rough draft of it all. And then the floor obviously is not getting any more paint because it's going to get flooring on top of this. So I'm going to call it a night and come back to this tomorrow or another day. Alright, it's another day. Working on the camper again today. Got this panel painted last night. Got all the floor painted. And I'm going to start working on flooring here in a few minutes. Hopefully. I've got one spot over here, actually a couple of little spots, where I need to do a little bit of trim work. So I've got this spot. There's a little piece right here. I need to put a piece of wood in here to bring this all out, so that's flush. This piece right here is also not flush with the floor line right here. So I'm going to put a spacer, just a piece of plywood in here, a spacer in there, so I can put flooring on the step, on this, and up here, and tie it all together, and hopefully get that looking pretty good. I just need to space that out to make it all come out flush or a little bit past the top. So got a couple little things to do, and then we're going to get started on the floor. All right, we've got those spots kind of taken care of. That piece in, that board across there. So that's closer to even, should work now. So we are ready to start flooring. I've been waiting a long time to put a floor in this. I got a few flooring tools here. I don't have a lot of experience flooring, so you can laugh at me and give me tips, that's fine. But I've got some flooring here. This is some stuff, it's a wood grain laminate type or vinyl plank, super thin. It is fairly heavy, which I'm not super thrilled about, but I think it'll be all right. But this is gonna look, I think this is gonna look really good in here. So I am going to probably start over on this corner so I can work my way along this edge. Then I've got a little bump out right here, so I'll have to come out all this edge. And I've got to cut out and do pieces on all of these floors, which I'm supposed to get some, my plan is to get some T-grid molding to put on that and use the top part as the support for it. I don't have it yet, so I'm just going to cut my flooring pieces and I'll have to come back later and put molding on it. So I'm going to leave them as they are right now, but I'm going to rework how the hatches are supported later to make the access easier. But for right now, we're just going to start pulling out some flooring and see how bad I am at this. What could go wrong? Alright, only a few pieces in. I've already got to one of the more complicated sections. So we've got the floor hatch here, which means this has to be cut here and over into this one and over to here, so that I can have, and then I'll use the pieces to make the piece that goes there. So I think what might be the easiest thing to do is just pull this floor panel up, because these are the same size, and just put this over this one, line up my corners, and then trace my edges and cut them out. We'll see how that works. Hopefully I don't make too many mistakes and waste too much flooring, because then I won't have enough flooring and I'll have to go buy a completely different type and start all over. So maybe I won't make too many mistakes. Sure, there's 100 ways to do that more correctly than what I just did, but I think it'll work, so we're gonna try it. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. Figuring out how this is going to work, it's a lot of work. Try and cut around all these hatches. And I've got to take all these boards out that I had doing holding these hatches up temporarily, because there's screws holding them up around here. So I've got to get all those screws out before I can put the floor down, because then once the floor's down, those screws aren't accessible. So I've got to take all these out. I'm probably gonna do that tonight. There's the 2 hatches over there as well. So kind of figuring out how this is gonna go. I'm gonna do a few more things tonight, but then probably call it a night. And then kind of come back tomorrow once I've regrouped and got everything I need. I've got to get some T-molding for these to go around the edges to support that. And I don't have that yet. I got to get that ordered so that I can get the hatches actually put in permanently once I get all these pieces cut. But it's coming together. It's going to take a while to do the floor because there's so much. Almost every piece has to be notched or cut in some way or another. So it's going to take a while. But I'll come back to it hopefully tomorrow and make some more progress. Alright, it's another day back on the camper. I'm gonna get back right onto this flooring and see if we can make a little more progress tonight. guys, I have the floor, at least the basics of it, done, and it's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with it. Had very little waste, only used like a box and a little over a half of my flooring. I do still have to do the step down here, and I'm going to put a piece of flooring on here. So I got that to do later, but I'm going to call it a night. And obviously I've got the hatches to work on once my T-molding comes in to make that all flush and make those where they can open. So got all the hatches to work on still, but overall she's looking pretty good. I think it works well with the color scheme we've kind of been going with, and with the ceiling. I'm really happy with it. I like it. This is going to be so much better than that temporary carpet we've been using in here for 2 years now. 2 years we've been using temporary carpet. We've been camping out of this for 2 years. A little over 2 years. And finally got the floor in it. So I'm very happy with it. And I'm going to call it a night. And we're going to call this video done, even though I've still got lots more to do. But we'll come back later. We'll work on the molding. We got quarter round. We got some edge molding. We got some molding to put on here. We got the bunk to put back in. We've got the step to work on. We still got a little bit more stuff on the interior, but we're getting really close to having the inside of this thing finished until I start making changes. I do still have the fans and ductwork, so there's more to go, but we're going to call it a day, call it a night. I'm tired and I got more stuff to do tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share if you enjoy our content. And I'm sure we will be going camping very soon. Hopefully, this weekend. That's why I stayed up late tonight to get this done. So, if we can, we may go camping tomorrow night. I got to figure out a way to cover up these holes temporarily, though. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.